Well, good morning. My name's Zach Miller. I am a forester for Weyerhaeuser, and here we are today on a logging job just north of Polson on the east edge of Flathead Lake. This is a private piece of property that is undergoing a timber harvest to generate some revenue as well as improve forest health and wildfire resilience. So you can see behind me we have a treated stand already, and this stand has just recently been harvested with a ground-based or mechanical logging operation consisting of a feller buncher, a skidder, a dangle head processor, and a log loader. And they came through and selectively harvested this stand in order to leave the best trees with nice, healthy, full crowns and of a desired species. And that skidder can pull the size of a bundle that is set up by the feller buncher, which selects where to place the bundles and how large to make them. Log skidder intentionally has wide tires on it because the machine is heavy, and so when we put larger tires, that gives more surface area contacting the ground to displace the weight across the soils. So it reduces erosion from ruts, and then we also very intentionally harvest at times of year or on soils that are fairly dried out so they don't rut, because we really want to protect our water and our resources in soils, because soils help grow the next generation and crop of trees. So they're very important to us and we want to protect them. So this is a bundle of trees that has been cut by the feller buncher, and as you can see there's big trees and there's small trees and there's some rotten trees and all sorts of things. And what the feller buncher is doing is he's cutting the stand and leaving the best trees that are out here. The best trees that will grow, and the best trees that are adaptable to fire, and the best trees that they just look pretty. So you can see there's a bunch of things in here, and these logs will be cut to length at the landing and sorted as well. So rotten logs and smaller diameter logs will go for chipwood or pulpwood. The larger logs here will be cut up and made into plywood or peeler logs, and the smaller logs will be cut into boards or studs used for framing and home construction. So that older stump, you can see it's heavily used by wildlife, and it was very intentionally left where it's at. And the tree next to it was actually left where it was at too, intentionally, because what can happen is that tree will provide shelter for birds using that stump. So they can find shelter in the tree, they jump down, peck on the stump, find shelter in the tree, and so it helps them feel protected. There's another example. So these decisions that the feller buncher makes, he has that all in his mind of the reason why he's cutting this. And that's one cool thing about the harvesting aspect is a feller buncher is in control. A wildfire, it's not so much in control. It's usually a reactive approach. A feller buncher and a harvesting operation, you are in control and you can select what to leave and what not.
My name's Brady Roberts. I own CR Logging Incorporated. We're based out of Big Timber, Montana, and we're just doing an 80-acre project here in the Flathead. I mainly work for Vaughan Brothers Lumber over in Washington, but we're at breakup, and so we've got a little private piece here to do this spring, and we're just trying to get the unhealthy mistletoe and a lot of the real thick regen and stuff cleared out for fire prevention, and trying to make the landowner a little bit of money. Yeah, so behind me is my feller buncher, Komatsu feller buncher. It's got a hot saw on it that the disc spins continuously, and we can pick out which trees we want to cut to treat the stand, and we can actually grab those trees and pack them out from where the healthier trees are, I guess, and lay them in a trail that will then come in with a skidder and bring them all to a landing where all the limbs and tops are stripped off, and then they're manufactured for the whatever mill they're headed to. I've got a feller buncher and then 2 dangle head processors and 2 log loaders and 2 skidders. We mainly operate 1 full-time crew, and then depending on the season or how much volume the mills need, we can step up with the other operation, or we have spare. Things break down a lot out here, so it's nice to have a spare machine. Sometimes parts, especially nowadays with COVID and everything, it takes sometimes weeks to get parts and stuff. So we try to make sure we can keep things operating as efficiently as possible.
Well, so here we are on a neighboring piece of property, and this area has been harvested before. And my guess is it's about maybe 10 to 15 years ago this was commercially harvested, and they cut trees out of here to manufacture logs to send to the mill. There's stumps here which indicate that. And there's also a bunch of new regeneration, as you can see. Really vibrant, healthy, young trees that are really growing. And that's a result of opening up the canopies to allow more sunlight and water. And so that these trees, younger trees, can grow, which that's what they need: sunlight, water, and nutrients out of the soil. So this is just a harvested stand, maybe 15 years after harvest, where the regeneration has come in the understory, and it's just growing a new crop of trees. The regeneration establishes from seed that comes from the residual trees, or the trees that are left. It hits the soil, and then that seed establishes, and out pops a new tree. So there's also, going back to the stand that we were just at, is a pre-harvested example. So a pre-harvest, and then a 15 years post-harvest example. Thank you for joining with me today as we tour through the woods and look at the operations of harvesting. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you today, and just wanted to conclude with a couple things. And so we're very intentional with our harvests and what trees we select and how we harvest trees, by one, taking care of our soils, taking care of our water, and taking care of the people and neighbors that surround this forest and use this forest. By putting value to the forest as recreation value, or maybe a monetary or money value by harvesting the trees and selling them, we keep forests forests. And by what I mean by that is, it's not just something that is dispensable. People value forests, therefore they want to keep them because they recreate, they provide good visuals, they provide places to hunt and fish. So next time you look at the forest, just think of the value. By harvesting trees, there's many people that are employed or have a job by harvesting. For example, here we have 2 truck drivers that haul the logs to the mill, 1 log loader operator, 1 skidder operator, 1 danglehead processor operator, and 1 feller buncher operator. So there's quite a few people that are employed by just this one operation. And those people may be your aunt and uncle, they may be your mom or dad, your brother, sister. So it's very important to continue to harvest, as we have been doing for over 100 years now. These trees are not old growth trees. They came back from a previous harvest or from a previous wildfire. So as we live here on the land, it's good to put value to the forests and enjoy them and keep them forests. So thank you very much. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to your local service forester or any forester, and we can help you with any questions or career paths. If you wanted to go into the woods as a career path and become a forester or a wildlife biologist. But let's keep our forests and use them wisely, and enjoy them. Thank you.